This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Follow the Money is brought to you by ProfitX, and right now you can compete to become the King of March and win free trips up to $10,000. Download the ProfitX app. Use the code VSiNMM. So news reports are saying that the accident Tiger Woods was involved in about 90 minutes ago in Jupiter, Florida, a neighborhood that he lives in, actually, in a 30-mile-an-hour speeding zone. Reports were going to come out basically right now, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Once those details come out, we will relay them to you. Obviously, he doesn't play much anymore, but he's the biggest thing all time in that sport. So it's more of a personal story, obviously, a human being story than it is a betting story at this point. But I hope it's fine. I hope he's okay. Nothing to see here. It just happened to be an accident, and that's it. We're going to move on.
TMI Ozzy has a driver on the weekends. I can't believe Tiger Woods does, after what he's been through, that he doesn't have a driver.
It's weird.
Yep.
It really is. Let me run this by you. So the other night, the tanking parlay cashed. It cashed, and it was a plus money price throughout the day. I think there was either a 5 or a 6-legger. And here we are again. You have 7 teams that qualify for tonight. And I'll run down exactly how it's been for some of these teams.
I'm okay if you want to throw Toronto in there, because you're playing the Pelicans and they're on a back-to-back. That bumps it up to plus 180. If you want to throw Toronto in there, and Toronto needs it. They're at home. Now, if you don't want to risk it, it's plus 120 if you don't want to throw in Toronto.
Sure. Teams that you're fading. Pacers, 1-17, last 18 games, 3-21, their last 24. Bulls are a weird team. Wins over Houston and Golden State at Phoenix this month. But they're also taking on Oklahoma City, and they're a massive underdog, so you're fine there. Grizzlies are 2-12 in March, 4-19 last 23 games. Jazz, 3-15 last 18, 9-32 since the new year. The Wizards snapped their 16-game losing streak, but that was against Utah the other night. The Mavs are 2-12 in March, 4-20 since February 1st, 4-24 last 26 overall. By the way, side note, I wish that we could rely on award voters more here, because Colin Kneppel, in my opinion, should be about minus 1,000 now to win the award. If I could rely on award voters, I would be pounding Kneppel even at that price to win the award. I can't. Some might still give it to Cooper Flagg. The Nets are on a 9-game losing streak, 2-12 in March, 2-29 last 21, 7-36 since the new year.
Aaron Renning says bet overs when Smart's out. Smart's out for the Lakers.
Okay. I'm in. So, let me ask you this quickly. Keep the Rockets off?
No. Memphis now.
Okay.
It's funny. That just shows you how bad Houston's been, though. That Memphis is tanking, and they have better numbers in the last couple months on offense. I mean, that's you shouldn't be this bad with Kevin Durant, and you can't draw up a play, and you're just awful in crunch time.
And he can't make free throws when it matters.
I know. Listen to this. The total's 241 tonight in a Portland game. Listen to what Dallas has allowed going back. 142, 137, 138, 135, 129, 138, 124, 122, 120.
Wow. Well, what's Portland's team total here? Must be, it's close to what? It's 125 tonight? It's got to be. So it works out to 125 for them and 115 for Dallas?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Some player props, though, as always. Go to vsin.com. Check it out every day. Fire up that prop analyzer. Flag, 7-0 overrun for assists. Marshall, 6-1. 6-1 overrun PRA. So was Flag. They're not winning games, but you see what kind of games they're involved in, though. High scoring, crazy pace, up and down. And what's happened there. So those are a couple that stick out in this game. But it's I would put Houston on there, and I don't mind putting Toronto up there to put that sucker up to plus 180 return here.
Okay.
As there's just I don't see anyone going down tonight.
So here's a play that I do have in the Bulls OKC game, and it's with Josh Giddey. Now, they played earlier this month. OKC got him by 8. In that game, Giddey played 33 minutes. He had 14, 9, and 9. in games since that loss to Oklahoma City. 15, 12, and 10 against Sac. 21, 13, and 17 against Golden State. 27, 15, and 8 against the Lakers. A triple-double against the Clippers and the Memphis Grizzlies in back-to-back games. He got close the other night at Philly, 23, 12, and 9. I played him at plus 325 to have a triple-double against his former team tonight. He'll play 32 to 37 minutes probably, and he is like teetering on a triple-double, like every time he takes the court, getting more minutes since he got injured, obviously, a month and a half or so ago. But against Oklahoma City, a team that he almost did that in 33 minutes earlier this month, I took that at plus 325.
All right. Again, Buzelis has been incredible for the Bulls, what he's doing night in, night out. The issues again with Houston. Eason, 7-0 underrun points. Holiday for Portland, 7-0 underrun. Kuminga, 6-1 underrun. Johnson has been fantastic. Daniels has been good. Yep. Alexander Walker's been phenomenal. And they have won 14 of 15. And they're involved in the big one tonight as well against Boston. That's a big game.
What do you make of that number, by the way?
I think it's too much respect for Atlanta. Now, I know it's the spot because Boston's coming off the big win against the Thunder.
That's exactly right.
But I still think Boston, you get the Knicks loss, Boston trying to get the 2 seed and also win that division. Also, the race for the 3 seed in the West, huge. Because you get that 3 seed, you wouldn't have to see OKC till the conference finals, and you would draw the team with all their issues right now, likely to be Houston as the 6 seed. And Lakers have essentially a 3-game lead because they have the tiebreaker over Minnesota and Denver. Denver still has 2 left against the Spurs and 1 left against OKC. See how this plays out.
Which team are you taking more seriously in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, if they get there, Atlanta or Charlotte?
Well, I mean, Atlanta's probably going to be in the 4-5 game, and they're going to give Cleveland fits. I really like the Charlotte team, but you're probably going to face Detroit.
That could be without Kate Cunningham.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Charlotte, and I heard JVT breaking this down today on Money Moves, not only since like January 1st, they still have the best numbers overall in the NBA, even better than the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
When you break it down and look at when these teams play other top 10 teams in the NBA, that specific, those metrics or those numbers, Charlotte against other top 10 teams in the NBA is the number 1 team in the league. They have the best numbers overall against the best of the best.
Yeah, I don't know how good Atlanta is.
I don't know either because this run is...
Yeah, it's all been tanking teams, or you're catching teams at the right time when they're injured. They went to Houston and got blasted. And maybe that happens tonight against Boston. That's tough. And it's also hard to get a read on the Cavs. You know, they just played Miami and lost. And now you got a 3-way tie here between Orlando, Charlotte, and Miami. And you could catch Toronto. You could catch Philly, who's got a tough schedule.
Oh, that's going to be massive, by the way.
And Atlanta's got some tough games coming up, too. So this is, you never see this, where you can make the case for all 4 teams. Well, you throw out Atlanta. Orlando can do it. I mean, in terms of, you know, I don't think you're going to suddenly play good ball, but, you know, there's a case to be made. But all 4 teams can win a division here, and we're down to 9 games left in the season.
So this is one of the first times I can ever remember this happening. And, you know, making a lot of future bets, a lot of them are going to never get there for you, right? Because you're taking bombs and you don't expect a 50-1 shot or a 100-1 shot or whatever to actually win. But you can make a case that if they're there in the end with another team or another player, if it's an award, then you can hedge. This is one of the first times I've ever had 150 and 250-1 in pocket on a team to win a division. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I mean, it's 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like in the history of this network since we've been on, 8 years now, I don't know if that's happened before.
Brutal. You know, and the crazy thing is the league's making all these teams play 4 games in the final week of the season, too. And so you don't know. You can't also play the schedule game. You can't, you don't know what these teams are going to be doing, who their opponents are going to play and what's going to happen.
Right. And oh, by the way, once a team gets maybe locked in or like if they stay in this spot, they're going to get Team X in the playoffs. Maybe that's a team that they want to play, and they don't want to screw around with it at all and drop or go up. So that's easier said than done to dictate like that. But
yep. So you're a parlay again. The teams to fade the Nets, fade the Mavs, fade the Wizards, the Jazz, the Grizzlies, the Bulls, and the Pacers pays plus 125. If you want to throw the Raptors in there, they're 8.5 tonight against the Pelicans. The Raptors need this because they continue to fall in the standings. Toronto is now the 6. Atlanta passed them, and they're laying 8.5. That bumps it up to plus 180. Mm-hmm. But you look, Atlanta, Toronto, 32 losses. Philly, 33. Orlando, Charlotte, Miami, 34 losses.
This should be a great night in the NBA. And you have 7 games that are basically double-digit numbers overall out of 10. Late March. And it's embarrassing for the league. And then they came out today. Shams had that report of what they're going to try to do to tinker with the whole lottery system.
It's an easy fix.
Good Lord, man.
He made it worse.
It's way more confusing this time around. Like the teams and the players won't even understand it. The organization go like, what? What do you do with the fans? Forget about it with the fans. No chance.
It's not a problem in the NFL.
I like what you said.
No, it's just...
a while back. This guy came in like a wrecking ball, man, around the Sterling stuff with the Clippers.
Remember, there's 2 stains on Stern's legacy. Donald Sterling stuck around for so long. Everyone knew he was a racist, right? And the Sonics moving. This guy comes in. I am banning him for life.
Immediately.
And then everything is just down. It's like, what are you doing?
It's horrible, man. And get rid of the cup. Get rid of the NBA Cup. That's the reason why all these teams are playing back-to-back games.
Tired of cappers lying about their record? Juice Reel dropped an update that makes that impossible. Connect your books directly into Juice Reel and instantly get in-depth analytics on your own betting, plus access to what the very best bettors on the platform have their money on. The days of cappers faking their profits are over. Download it now. Juice Reel. REEL. Get it. It's free. Juice Reel.
We'll expand on today's baseball card. And again, the team that we want for most wins by the end of April coming up next.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, so here's the latest. Tiger Woods involved in a rollover crash, Jupiter, Florida. He has been charged with a DUI and property damage. That is breaking news right now. And I'm looking at the TV right now. Car completely rolled over on its side. Is it a Land Rover that I'm looking at right there on TV? And speculation came out. Couldn't go with it until it was official, and there you go. They have it on ESPN right now, and oh boy. The fall from grace continues. So
he's lucky he's okay.
Let's hope that he's okay.
One of the 2 people refused to go to the hospital. I don't know who that was, but that has also come out.
So I'll throw this out there because people are suggesting this anyway. I did not know. Tiger Woods doesn't drink? Evidently, he does not drink.
Well, yeah.
So if that's the case,
is this the 3rd time then with pills?
It would have to be pills. And then does he have a prescription, or what kind of pills are we talking about here? How is he driving? Tiger, man, come on. You know, we all made fun of the guy for the Perkins waitress, and he's hanging out with Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter, and hey, what do I say to them?
Yeah.
What do you say? Go up to a girl and say, hey, my name's Tiger Woods. Case closed.
Barkley was stunned. What do you say?
How are you driving? It's 2:00 Eastern time, man. I'm sorry to react like that, but Jesus Christ, it's 2026. Get an Uber. Get a driver. You're worth $1 billion, man. It's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. God, does that bother me? I hope the guy's okay.
Yeah, no injuries.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry to blow a gasket.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay. He shouldn't be driving.
Of course not.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
You know, the guy who works at the GMC dealership in Dallas has got a driver on the weekends. Tiger Woods should have a driver, especially with what he's been through. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier. The Blue Jays open up against the A's at Severino against Gossman. They housed them last year at home in a 4-game set, swept them 39 runs. Ernie Clement was great, 11 of 18. They spent over $300 million in the offseason. I'm not in love with the Cease acquisition, but in any event, they can make some hay right off the bat because 12 of their first 15 games are at home. 4 of their first 5 series should be doable, and a lot of games they should win because you're talking Rockies, White Sox, Twins, and you start with the A's, and certainly the A's are no doormat, and they had the sixth best record from mid-June on when they closed 50-42. But big opportunity here from that market for most wins, and Gossman $1.70 here. But how can you not be excited with more playing time for Ernie Clement after what he did in the World Series? And if Pajes doesn't make that incredible play, he's going to win the MVP, and they win the Super Bowl. So a lot going on here. But they should get off to a hot start, and I think the Severino splits were incredible. Home road. But he was much better on the road last year than he was at home. Yeah,
playing in that ballpark in Sacramento. So the numbers at home last year, 6.01 with the ERA. Meanwhile, on the road, it was 3.02. That's a humongous difference, Pauly. I mean, 3 full runs difference on the road. I think it also speaks to the ballpark more than maybe anything else. He's 32 years old, and he did pitch, in that World Baseball Classic. He was in that game against Team USA, obviously. Now, Sanchez was brilliant yesterday. A couple of other guys were not, Skeens and Logan Webb. We'll see how this is going to go for Severino in this game.
But yes.
You said this earlier. I'll expand on it here. Blue Jays, for books that are still offering this, maybe most wins in April. 12 of their first 15 come at home. 4 of the first 5 against non-contenders. A's, Rockies, White Sox in Chicago. Dodgers, okay, and Twins to begin the year as well. We got feedback on X. This is from Bronx Seahawk, who took the Mets at 11-1.
Oh.
And I responded, they have a 3-game set with the Dodgers. Other than that, it's like a pretty clear coast for the Mets. And we don't have DK in Nevada. DK has 11-1. I would take 11-1 if I had access to it. Caesars, I think, was 5-1, so I'm not going to take 5-1 on the Mets.
Okay. I don't know how to play this game, and you were right. I was wrong with the Angels and Astros. I don't know if I go team total, over, side. Kikuchi has horrible numbers against the Astros. Mm-hmm. And Correa's owned him, and Alvarez has owned him, hitting almost 400 with 3 bombs against him. Now, I don't know if I want to go to war with Burrows, but certainly, 1-6 with a 5.83 in 16 career starts against them. These are some bad numbers here. So you can get creative, and there's different ways to play this, but it looks like the Astros should be able to get to Kikuchi today.
Angels batter saw 193 pitches in the opener, most of any team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. They're looking for consecutive victories to begin a season for the first time since 2007. You're right about Kikuchi. Alvarez has 3 home runs off of him in his career. Now, I bet Alvarez, and I talked about this weeks ago on the show and also Pot of the Futures. I bet Alvarez in the race to 10 home runs market because of the teams that they begin with. He was actually, did you see this yesterday? He was robbed of a potential home run. He hit he blasted one. It was a towering shot to right field, and it ricocheted off a rafter, and it landed in foul territory. They went to a replay, and the call stood after the replay. So they weren't going to give him a home run as a result. That would have been a good way to start the season. But he's done really well against Kikuchi, and Correa 14-28 overall as well with a 643 slugging against him.
Over 1.5 total bases, plus 130. At Caesars, not bad.
Okay.
Alvarez $1.07. I can attack it that way, and I could maybe do something with hits too, maybe. But those guys have been great against them going back. I forgot Kirk has owned Severino, by the way, too, in his career, hitting 500 against them.
Okay, I wanted to point this out as well in the Tigers-Padres game. It's Valdez making his debut for Detroit, taking on Michael King, who was back. I think he made, 15 starts last year? But Kevin McGonigal made his debut yesterday. How good was that?
I can't believe that.
Wow.
As I said, most of these guys come up and they struggle. And he does that in his first game? Like Riley Green said.
No, I got the quote right here.
Yeah. This is a money quote.
This is from his teammate. This is amazing. Riley Green said, quote, "I remember when I was going through my debut, I couldn't even feel my body. Didn't know what was happening. It looked like that was his 700th game out there. It was pretty impressive to see," end of quote. to hear that from another teammate who just went through it as well.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
Not at all.
You come in and dominate like that. Absolutely. This is a lot of respect for King. You know, how long is he going to go? All his time off last year, and you're going against Valdez, and certainly this good offense. I could see Valdez shutting him down.
I would only look at the Tigers here.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of respect for King. I don't agree with it.
And there's also a couple of notes I have here in the Guardians-M's game. First of all, for those who didn't pay attention to late night baseball last night, Chase Dillatour, who is 24 years old, he homered twice for Cleveland. And they need more pop, obviously, in their lineup. And they're catching plus 152 against George Kirby in this game. Gavin Williams is going for Cleveland. He's 26 years old. Good campaign last year. Career high in innings, 173 plus. He posted a 2.59 ERA over his last 24 regular season starts. That's like teetering on elite status. Did struggle with the control last year. Been an issue. Major League Baseball high 83 walks. On the flip side, George Kirby goes for Seattle. He has allowed the fewest walks per 9 in the majors. Minimum 300 innings pitched since 2022. All 4 of the Mariners' runs came on solo home runs last night. They're 2 through 4 hitters. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, 0 for 11, 6 strikeouts. And Jose Ramirez, who had a double last night in their victory, 6 of 12 lifetime, 3 doubles, a home run career against Kirby. It's $1.70 for Kirby tonight.
So in spring training, he was experimenting with calling his own pitches.
Yeah.
With the belt. I want to see what this looks like here with Kirby, and if that continues and what that looks like, and maybe he's in store for a big season. And also, I'm not so sure about that the Dodgers are free money tonight. Sheehan could go 80, 90 pitches in this one. They're getting the rings tonight. Nelson changed his diet, added some muscle, and added a slider in the offseason. So maybe he can contain the Dodgers lineup tonight, and maybe the Diamondbacks get something going on Sheehan. He's your going here.
It's a pretty busy offseason.
That's right. Now, I'd like to do that. Pick up a slider and some muscle in my spare time, right? Not bad.
Do we have an offseason doing this?
That's that, yeah.
Can we is there an offseason doing radio and TV every single day? And, hey, I'm going to go, you know what? I'll be back in a month. I'm going to go put on 20 pounds of muscle. Just feel like doing that. No? Okay.
But it'd be great, yeah. But also changing the diet, that's the first thing,
Yeah.
Maybe, no pizza conventions and what's going on. Follow the Money brought to you by Profit X. If you're not on Profit X yet, now's the time. Sign up by April 6th, purchase at least $25, get a free $25, and jump into their King of March contest. Use the code VSINMM. Get it now, make your first purchase, take your shot, and become the King of March. The incredible photo, mugshot, is the DUI when he was pilled up the first time.
Yep.
Going back. I mean, it'll pop right up when you search it.
That's right.
I mean, he was out of it.
Oh, completely.
I don't know how long ago that was, but that's...
Was that 08, 09, something like that, maybe? The first one you're talking? Yeah, way back when?
Yeah.
Greg Hoops Peterson next. The underdog to win outright tonight will be which team? We'll ask him on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
College Hoops here. As Greg Hoops Peterson joins the program, we go out to the Progressive Guest Line. He is the host of the Coast to Coast Hoops podcast at the VSiN network of podcasts. Hoops, good to talk to you, my man. Let's begin with the early game that we have tonight, 7:10 p.m. Eastern tip time in Washington, D.C. The game, I'm a little surprised they didn't make this a late game.
I'm shocked.
Right? I mean, this is the game.
Yeah.
This game is the absolute nuts. What did you make the number here, side and total, and how have you approached it from a betting standpoint?
Yep, absolutely. And if you're talking about that St. John's game, I do think that St. John's has quite a bit of value here. I did make them a 5.5 point underdog, so I did get there with the points. Couldn't quite get there on the money line with St. John's, but that said, this is a bunch that has been able to do a tremendous job on defense. Top 10 team in the country in terms of points allowed on a per possession basis. I know that there are some rumors that Caleb Foster might try to give it a go here for Duke, but if he does, what is he really going to be able to give you? Because they did get back Patrick Ngagba in the last game. He was able to give them like 13 minutes off the bench, clearly not 100%, but was able to give them a little bit of something. And Duke still rock solid on defense. They've been number one in the country in terms of points allowed on a per possession basis. That said, the offense has really struggled without Foster. In the 5 games since he's been gone, they've been shooting 44.3% from the floor, 30% from three, and you're getting 7 points here with Rick Pitino, in some cases 6.5. Took the points with St. John's and that under.
All right, sounds good. The late game, I think we're on the same page here. Sparty opened the favorite, now they're underdogs, and they've bombed this total under as well. 27-7 against 31-5. I like Izzo here in Michigan State. They average 80 a game. They've been awesome so far offensively in the tournament. What say you?
Yep, I am right there on Michigan State on the money line. Being able to get plus money on Tom Izzo is something that I very much am going to take. With Michigan State, they've also been so good with their shooting away from home. They actually only shoot 32.7% from three-point range at home compared to over 40% away from home. I know that like a month or two ago, Luka Garza came out and said that there's a little bit of a conspiracy with like the Breslin Center rims and something like that, where it's harder for teams to be able to make threes in the second half and everything like that. I'm starting to become a little bit of a subscriber with the way that Michigan State has shot from three-point range away from home, but also for UConn. They're still dealing with the Silas Demery injury. He was able coming off the bench, looked okay in that game against UCLA, but clearly not quite 100% there. And for UConn, they just have not covered spreads this year. 13-23 against the spread. They just have been a little bit overvalued all season long. Michigan State, number one in terms of defensive rebound percentage away from them. Think that they get the job done. So took Michigan State here on the money line.
Which team here, if you're right, but if UConn, whatever, flip a coin, moving forward against Duke in the Elite Eight, which one of these two teams do you think has the best chance, forget the point spread for a second, but the best chance to beat Duke if, in fact, the Dukies beat St. John's tonight?
I would still go with Michigan State.
Okay.
Their ability on the defensive glass, I think, is absolutely massive. And I keep in mind, this will be a rematch of when Zion Williamson went up against Michigan State way back in the day. Obviously, much different now because Coach K was coaching back then. Now you got John Shire. But still, Tom Izzo knows how to be able to play against Duke, and this would be a rematch of something that we saw in the regular season. If you remember, that game was an almighty slog. Neither team got past 65 points. Michigan State, they lose by a possession at home, so Michigan State can clearly hang with these guys, so I'd go with Michigan State.
Mitch asked me earlier, I think he's onto something. Can Michigan do to Alabama what Arizona did to Arkansas?
I don't know if they're quite putting up like 110 plus points, but I think that this is a game where you might want to be taking a look at an alternate line. Like Alabama has a chance to be able to win this game outright. They take 53.7% of their field goal attempts from three-point range. If they're burying their threes, they have a chance to be able to win. If they are not burying their threes, boy, this is going to be a long night for them. Now, I personally did land on the side of taking 9 with Alabama just because of the volatility. But that said, I do think that you're going to be able to get yourself a high-scoring game. Like that total of 172.5, I think that that's a very proper total right now. And for Alabama, they do have Aiden Holloway who's able to travel. He will not be playing with the team. They shut down those rumors. But that said, you still have LeBaron Filan, who's able to give you 21.5 points per game. It is an Alabama team that they actually do an okay job on the inside. Top 30 team and opponent's 2-point shooting percentage away from home. As we know, Michigan, their bread is buttered on the inside with Yaxel Lendeborg, Ade Mera, along with as well another guy, Morris Johnson, who will give you at least 6.5 rebounds per game. But I think Alabama does just enough to hold in there. I'm willing to take 9 with them.
How concerned are you? Okay, I think this is going to come down, obviously, Captain Obvious checking in, but they're going to take a lot of threes. If they hit a lot of threes, they're going to be in the game with a chance to win. I'm a little concerned because Oates' system is either basically at the rim or you're taking threes. Nothing from the mid-range. Michigan is, top tier against guarding the rim defensively. Does that concern you at all?
It does. And that's a big reason why I do think that this could be a game where you take like an alternate line. Like if you like Alabama, I don't think that this is going to be coming down to, they covered the spread because they lost by 8 or something like that. They're probably going to be in a 1 or 2 possession game if they're burying their threes. If they are not burying their threes, they could easily lose this game by 20 plus points. So that's a big reason why I think that if you are looking at like a game where you might want to try to get some plus money on an alternate line, this is a textbook game right here because of just the way that Alabama plays in general.
What are you hearing on Jefferson, and how are you handicapping this Tennessee-Iowa State game?
if Jefferson is able to go, he is going to be very, very far from 100%. I know a few people out there in the great state of Iowa. Mm-hmm. I know that the rumors out there are that it's a pretty serious injury. Obviously not a complete break or anything like that, but if he's able to go, it's going to be very limited. If you remember Dean Wade many years ago for Kansas State, and the way that he was like a decoy in that Sweet 16 game for Kansas State where he played 2 or 3 minutes, you could tell that he was hobbling out there. I think it could be a little bit akin to that. So I did take the 4 here with Tennessee. I don't necessarily like the money line here, but that said, for Iowa State, the one thing that they still have going for them, even with the Jefferson injury, is that they're still so good at generating turnovers. Top 5 team in terms of turnovers generated on a per possession basis. Tennessee, they're going to have the advantage inside. They are number 1 in the country in percentage of their missed shots that result in an offensive rebound. So that really helps them out. But with Iowa State, their ability to generate turnovers, even with a much less than 100% Jefferson, if they have them at all, I think that that's enough for them to avoid the upset. But getting 4.5 with Tennessee, I did take the points as Iowa State. Keep in mind, if they need to cover at the free throw line, outside the top 315 with their free throw shooting percentage, they have not been good there.
Greg, I want you to think about this for 1 second because I'm going to throw Pauly a question when I'm done. But if you can, think about what you would make Michigan, Arizona if they meet in the Final Four. In the meantime, what did I say the North Carolina women were to win the first quarter? Weren't they? Was it 16-1?
8.5. Well, you said the point
spread
was
8.5 in the first.
What do you got?
They lead 12-11 end of the first quarter.
Oh my God!
So the huge money line number, I think it was 16-1 to win the first half. Whatever it was to win the first quarter, it's a
son of a gun. Got to respect your opponent. Yeah. Well, the first to 10 was plus 450. I think you said too, as well. Greg? Am I overreacting? You want to ask him the Michigan question?
What would you make that game?
I would be leaning towards Arizona being 2.5 point favorites. I think is a very fair line with Michigan. They do such a good job down low, but I just think Arizona is right now the most balanced team in the NCAA tournament. Top 10 team in terms of both points scored and points allowed on a per possession basis. We saw them against an Arkansas team that had arguably the best player remaining in the NCAA tournament, completely buried them. And for Michigan, I feel like they've gotten their swagger back after they were a little bit shaky in late February, early March in the Big Ten tournament, but I'd be making that line right now. Arizona, a 2.5 point favorite.
Okay. Give me your thoughts on Iowa, Illinois, and if Donovan says no to Carolina, would you call and ask for McCollum?
Oh, I absolutely would be asking for Ben McCollum. I think that he is a top 5 coach in the game. A lot of people want to have it as a knock that it's he hasn't done a lot at the Division I level. Winning is winning. What he did at the Division II ranks is insane. What we're seeing right now, taking an Iowa program that hadn't been to the Elite Eight since the 80s, is insane as well. So he is one of the best coaches in the game. Absolutely, I'd be giving him a call. And I do like the 7 here with Iowa. Keep in mind, they were going up against a team in Florida that was so dominant on glass, and it's a little bit, shall we say, similar to this situation where Illinois, they're very good in terms of being up at the boards with David Mirkovic and company, the Avicic brothers. But for Iowa, they do such a good job with regards to generating turnovers. Top 20 team in terms of fewest turnovers on a per possession basis. They value the ball. Top 30 team in terms of points scored on a per possession basis. Great balance because even though they don't grab for themselves second and third chances, they don't give your opponents a lot of second and third chances as well. So personally, I'm taking the 7 here with Iowa. That total of 137 as well. I set my total more around a 139. I do like the over.
All right, Greg, about 30 seconds here. You also do the baseball write-ups as well at vsin.com, tracking that sport the entire year. Do you have a best bet on the card tonight?
I do like the Atlanta Braves here. Chris Sale, in the limited sample size that we saw from Elias here, was absolutely amazing. And for the Royals, do I think that they're going to be better on offense this year? Absolutely, because they were absolutely atrocious last year, but I still need to see it to believe it with them. Right now, the Braves are about minus 137 on the money line. Felt like this should have been north of minus 160. So give me Chris Sale and the Atlanta Braves on the money line, as I think that they'll bounce back with their offense after all those injuries last season as well.
All right, G-Unit, thank you, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the games tonight and this weekend.
Always appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Best of luck. Coast to Coast Hoops podcast. He's the host of it. But you're not going to believe this update on North Carolina UConn game, women's. And
I have an update for you. You won't believe either.
Okay. Can I top your update? Can't wait to find out. And we'll dive more into these college basketball Sweet 16 matchups coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
By the way, Greg Peterson said the dog he thinks that can win outright would be Michigan State tonight, as he was breaking it down in the previous segment. So let me give you the update quickly because it's on this North Carolina-UConn women's game. I talked about the first to 10. The North Carolina women were plus 470. Somehow, some way, they won the first quarter by a score of 12-11, but they did not win first to 10. It was 11-7 UConn, and North Carolina scored the final 5 points of the first quarter to not only cover the 8.5, but also cash a rather large money line on that bet. Since then, UConn has opened up the second quarter on what is now a 10-2 run. They lead 21-14, and they're back to an $8,500 favorite to win the game outright. North Carolina's 20-1 on the money line. They're catching 24.5 live here. I would actually look at playing UConn right now.
That, yeah, okay. This is something.
It was my update better than your update?
You got a good update.
Okay.
I'll get to my update in a second. I have two updates. Tiger charged with DUI, property damage, refusal to submit to a test, not alcohol related. Now, we'll play this Wembanyama audio coming up. But we played it. How about a guy going from 22-1 to 3-1 in a span of what, a week, 10 days to win MVP?
Oh. When did he come out and say that I deserve the MVP? Wasn't that this week? I think I think it was Sunday night or Monday night of this week. Wemby was still 33-1 to win the MVP.
This is crazy. So whether it's narrative or his press conference or everyone just waking up at the same time and saying, you know what? He's got to do this. Because the numbers he's putting up, and they've won 25 of the last 26 games that he's played in, that he should, and maybe it's just like, you know what, he's making sense. MGM has gone to 3-1. Down the street, Westgate is plus 350. He's plus 550 at Will Hill and Caesars. You reached out to Jeff Sherman, who's the NBA guy, who's on the show many times, at the Westgate. He goes, we're just reacting to the market everywhere. What's happening? Nothing but Wembanyama. And then you see plus 330. So here is what he said earlier in the week when asked about the MVP, and I loved his answer.
My first one would be that defense is 50% of the game, and that it is undervalued so far in the MVP race, because I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Second argument would be that we almost swept OKC in the season, and we dominated them 3 times with their real team and 4 times with more rotation players. And my third argument would be that offense impact is not just points.
So did everyone just say, you know what? I'm sold?
Did it come around to a guy actually pushing for? Remember, this happened a couple of years ago. Embiid didn't deserve it, but he pushed for it. He wanted the award.
Harden did a couple times. Harden was saying, "Hey, games played has to matter too."
Right. I thought the Embiid push was quite petty and pathetic to be, and he didn't deserve it. That was Joker, and voters were just silly for giving it to Embiid.
I got no problem with that.
Absolutely none. No. I'm actually glad that he did this.
Well, it was like Draymond Green said, though, too. It's like, I love it and I hate it. It's like, of course, defense is 50% of the game. And, of course, the guy changes and impacts a game like no one else's business.
Right. Like, that's a logical thought to have and tell people, like, as a reminder, hey, we forget that SGA is so good offensively and good defensively, by the way. Joker, like, I mean, the best we've ever seen, basically, on offense with some of his numbers. By the way, I'll get to some of his numbers coming up. What is happening is like video game numbers. But he's like, guards come into the lane. He said it without saying it. And they just were like, oops, he's 7'5". I have no chance. I got to go back and reverse course and see if I can set the offense now.
In the win Wednesday, 19, 15, and 7 blocks. Against Miami when they throttled them on the road, 26, 15, and 5 blocks. Against Phoenix, 34 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 steals. And again, the record when he plays, and then scoring 39 against Boston. And he had 11 rebounds in that. So SGA was like minus 1,200. Now he's like 360. Mm-hmm. And there's also, Luka's made a big push too what he's done. And I was making the case for Luka last week, but now it's like, no, it's got to be Wemby.
Oh, it's
and even what Luka's done is historic. To average 40 a game on the road in like an 8-game span in just road games. But this is like, it's like we all woke up at the same time and just, you know what? He's got to get, this is nuts.
Finally, somebody said it. I never thought about that before.
It has nothing to do with an injury. It has nothing to do with the games played thing. I was worried about he wouldn't get there, but he's obviously going to get there now, no injury. But this 22-1 to 3-1 now.
So I'm actually curious if maybe one book took a big bet on from like a VIP player and moved the odds, and the rest of the market said, oh, we better do that because I don't want to have like a rogue 8 or 10 or 12-1 out there. Is that possible? There is a book in Las Vegas in the state of Nevada right now, Boomer's sports book. They have 6-1. I think that's the best number I've seen.
I like what you said earlier in the week, too. Even if they finish a game out of the 1 seed, that's right. Yes. And he's right. We just, we kicked their ass. We played them 5 times. We beat them 4 times.
And
that else should be something.
He's at 3 with their full team.
Yeah,
he's
right.
at 4th time rotation players, but yeah. So he's just like making sense across the board here.
But that maybe also people are looking at that as well. That OKC has to play the Lakers twice. They play the Lakers, and there's a back-to-back against the Clippers. They have to play Denver. Yeah. The Spurs are winning all these games. They still have 2 left against Denver. Their last loss was against Denver. He didn't play. That's another one. They couldn't get a damn stop in that game. Hello. And Wemby doesn't play.
True.
But that's the only loss going back. But when he plays, though, the obscene 25-1 run.
Well,
this is something.
Again, now I cannot, unless did somehow, some way, a person get a hold of the straw poll that might be coming out again.
Now that could be something, too. Because they're all Hoop Collective podcast people, McMahon and Winhorse, say, I can't wait for the next Bontemps poll. And it is so dead on accurate every single year that maybe there's something to it. And he actually talks to voters that they're saying, you know what, I've changed my mind. It's got to be this guy. It's got to be the alien.
Yep. I hope it drops very soon because you're spot on with what you just said. It almost reminds me, go back to the Lions-Chiefs game this past year. Remember that before kickoff? Hey, we took $5,000 on Jared Goff to score the first touchdown of the game tonight. And it leaked that Detroit was practicing that. Tirico said it on the broadcast, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody got a hold of that, and they got $5,000 down at DK for Goff to score first touchdown at I think it was 95-1. And they had that play designed for him to throw it to him like he's going to go in motion. Like that news came out. Somebody had a hold of it and he had a chance to get down a huge bet like that. This is almost what it feels like to me. And I mean, I guess there could have been a book out there that just said, let's tinker here a little bit. Let's draw up some narrative here and let's get a storyline going and maybe get some money on SGA. Let's just move it on our own, see what happens. And the rest of the market said, okay, we're going to follow suit. Drop that number on Wemby.
Caesars just went to plus 350. He was plus 550 when the show started.
Wow.
It's every single spot.
Well, I'd love to see it. By the way, Cam Schlittler for the Yankees. You want to talk about laddering K-props early on in the season?
Where are we at for pitches?
He's at 65.
Only going, okay, this will be it for him, man.
Well, he's got 8 Ks already.
Wow.
His prop was 4.5. And again, when that news came out that he was going to go about 75, 80 pitches, that number kept coming down a little bit because 4.5 was minus 127. And it came down some places at plus 115 on it. And he's got 8. Oh, my God, laddering him to 7 or 8 today. Whew, boy, huge payday. Is
he allowed to hit?
Good question.
We're through 5. Ray and Schlittler. Good. Oh, they got 1 hit. 4 hits in the game.
Wow.
Top of the 6th. No score. Follow the money brought to you by ProfitX. If you're not on ProfitX yet, now's the time. Sign up by April 6th. Purchase at least $25 and get a free $25. Jump into their King of March contest. Use code VSINMM. Download ProfitX. Code VSINMM. Make your first purchase. Take your shot at becoming the King of March. Get it now.
UConn can't score. They have 23 points. My last update was 21-14. We now have 2:14 to play before halftime. UConn leads North Carolina 23-18. A 5-point lead, and they're minus 4,000 to win the game at DraftKings. Current betting number 20.5. Total is 117.5. That feels like that number, I think, is high. You basically have to get, 60-60 here, or in UConn's case, 80-40, something like that, to go over 117.5. That feels like kind of a high number here, with only 90 seconds to go now, or thereabouts before halftime. All right, I promise we're going to get more college basketball coming up next. Bruce Marshall, longtime college basketball handicapper and bettor, is going to join the program. We'll get his best bets for tonight's action and ask him about the Elite Eight games on the schedule for tomorrow. Next here, Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.